Good morning, and good morning to all of you who might be hiding in your personal brand. And that's why I brought in the big guns, right? Melissa Cohen and Julie Michelle Morris are here. Many of you know them because they are not hiding, and also because they are here to help all of us understand not just the value of your personal brand, but what happens if you are not personal branding, and how all these things link up to a lot of leadership, thought leadership, standing out in the crowd, and also equity in you. So here they are. Thank you so much. Good morning. And I love that you guys are camera ready. And so, Melissa, tell us a little bit, not only about yourself, but what is your personal brand? What does your personal brand stand for?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's funny. I'm sort of recent to this whole conversation, as in, the last couple of years, probably prior to the pandemic, I was very much in the hiding mode, in the I don't want to be seen. I'm just going to keep my head down and do what I'm doing. And then, like everything else, I think the pandemic really changed everything. And so, as far as my personal brand, what I believe my personal brand is connection, it's community, it's lifting people up, it's empowering others and spotlighting others. I get a lot of joy out of doing that. And that's kind of why I really enjoy these conversations and partnering with Julie on things. It's really just showing people you don't have to be afraid. Personal branding is a plus, it's a gift, and it's a gift that will keep paying dividends the more that you utilize it. And, staying in the shadows feels safe, but it doesn't serve you.
Okay, mic drop. It does not serve you. It does not serve you, whether you are a leader, whether you are a job seeker, whether you are a big connector, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a solopreneur. So thank you for that. It does not serve you. And Julie, I mean, this is like such an awesome kind of proliferation and extension of a lot of the work that you've been doing for a significant period of time, specifically around thought leadership. And I would love for you, and I'll have you come back, Melissa, to talk about like how these links of the chain work together, because I think that there's a lot of people out there that think that they live in their own respective silos, but they're actually like they're one is an outgrowth of the other. So where does it start and where does it build?
Absolutely. Well, Lauren, thank you so much for having us. So we could talk about these topics all day, but I think the reality is what we want people to do is you're going to listen to all these insights. You're going to fill your head with knowledge today. A lot of this you already know. You know things like, yeah, personal branding is important, but it's mysterious and it's confusing, and we don't want that to be. So if you could get a couple of takeaways from this and make the decision to just start, that's where all of this links to. Your personal brands, to demystify it a bit, it's the packaging. Like, you hear that I'm energetic about these ideas. You hear that I'm like warm and friendly. I'm kind of coach-like. It's just packaging around my big ideas. That's what personal brand is. But we link it to action. So the action is where we need to be. It's not safe to hide anymore, like Melissa said. It is risky to be quiet. So just start.
And tell us why it's so risky, because I mean, I'm just going to cop to this, right?
Yeah.
And this makes me crazy. You want it both ways. I'm talking about you job seekers. You want to be found, and you want all the people to come knocking at your door.
Yeah.
And then you're hiding under a rock and you're wondering why they don't know how great you are. This is crazy. So, and thanks, Liam, and thanks everyone for joining. So how can you reconcile these two conflicting ideas and bust a move and say, you know what? If I really want to be found and I really want to stand for something and know Bob Berg's know, like, and trust, I gotta just freaking do it.
That's right. Oh, that's so good. Well, Melissa, do you want to dive in on this one, or I can?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like, specific to job search, like you were saying, Lauren, To me, this is what differentiates you, right? It is your presence, it is your expertise, it is your thought leadership, it is your personal branding. If you're in an interview stage, you've already made the first step, right? Or even if you're just sending your resume out there, everybody has a resume. Everybody has a decent resume at this point. Everybody has experience. Everybody has qualifications. So what's going to make you stand out? Like you said, there's a pile of resumes, right? There's a pile of resumes on someone's desk.
Yeah.
The first thing somebody does when they're looking to interview candidates is go to LinkedIn.
Right.
We all know that, right? We all know that. Every internal recruiter, every external recruiter, they're going to LinkedIn and they're seeing, what does this person's profile look like? So what are they going to see? Are they going to see a very bland profile with no picture, with no interaction, with nothing? Or are they going to see somebody who has a beautiful profile? They have a photo, they have a banner, they have a point of view, they talk about themselves, they engage with people. Like, which candidate are you going to bring in for an interview? It's a no-brainer.
Exactly. And what you just talked about is literally a practice that has been going and going and going and going forever. And more recently, right, the elevation of personal branding it's escalated. And I can also support the fact that what you were talking about before is the packaging, and part of the packaging is your thought leadership.
Yes.
And so if you stop at your profile, that's good. That's a great start. Don't get me wrong. But if you really want to establish a level of credibility to help you stand out, take us to the next level, Julie. What is the relationship between branding, thought leadership, and impact?
How it comes together. What we want to see, a recruiter, they stop off at your profile. They need to see that you have a pulse, right? Like that's, so if you are sharing, that's wonderful. They're going to stick around and they're going to read what you have to say. It's like you're interviewing from the moment they land there and you've got their captive attention for a few moments. So what are you going to do with it? So if I were to take something from my expertise and a little bit of me, a little bit of my opinions, anyone can spit out data from a white paper. That's not going to convince everybody, right? But next level, add a little bit of what you think. There are safe, simple ways to do that where we can see what you're all about, where you have a perspective. They want you to have a perspective when they're sitting there at a conference table with you 6 months into this gig, right? So give them a little taste now. If you can show how you communicate, what are your communication styles? Are you warm? Can you make complex things simple? Can you speak with, interesting, I hate to say make it light, but make it spicy maybe?
We got some spice in the house here too.
Spice is crucial.
This is
what
a review.
Ooh, that's good.
If you guys don't know Liam, get on the stick, man. Every interviewer wonders, okay, this is universal truth. What would it be like to have this person on my team? How do they communicate? What's their personality like? And being active, and we'll talk more about that on LinkedIn, demystifies this for them. So you're greasing the skids, right? Ghost or most, right? Ghost or most. Which one? And we got some peppers. So, this is seriously, it's vital. It's not an option, especially if you are, and I have to just shout this out, right? Especially for those who are looking at high ticket,
yes,
positions, 300, 400, 500, 1 million plus positions, right? And a lot of them think, hey, that's just not cool. I'm so great. You should just be able to find me. Well, you can find you. It just depends on how long you want to wait. And most search for a really long time.
Lauren, in this world, though, I tell you, in a lot of job descriptions I'm seeing now for those roles that you're mentioning, it says thought leadership. Either it is definitively called out as one of your role duties, or it is just implied. So please don't skip this part. And no one feels ready. No one feels ready to put themselves out there. And if you're in a transition, you're at a low place sometimes. And now we're saying, oh, you have to have a personal brand. Oh, you have to be a thought leader. Like, really? I have to pull something out of this feeling of tired and worn out and weary and give it away, like as if I'm supposed to be so confident right now. Sadly, yes, but also what you need to know is that thought leadership will reignite the fire you have for the work that you maybe don't even know if you like doing anymore. People, we all burn ourselves out. We don't even know why we're pushing so hard. And then we end up to this place where we don't even know what we're doing anymore. Thought leadership can help you figure it out as your feet are moving.
So I want to challenge this a little bit because, you guys already know this, right? So I put all this time into my resume, right? And what I can say to myself is, you know what? When I complete this resume, it's going to move activity. It's going to get me phone calls, interviews, etc.
Yeah.
When I put all this effort into my personal brand, how do I measure its effectiveness and its ROI? How do I actually go, oh, like there's a payoff? How do I assess that?
So, Melissa, if you have thoughts, dive right in, please.
I mean, so yeah, the resume is important, right? But the worst way to get a job is to just take that resume and put it into ATSs, apply to jobs blindly. Thousands and thousands of people do that. And we all know that the way to really get a job in this day and age is through personal connection. It's through network. It's through, the hidden job market, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes it's a job that doesn't even exist yet. And it's created because somebody really loves who you are, what you have to say, and what you're doing. So the ROI is that by building a personal brand, by putting your thought leadership out there, by making your presence known, by letting people see who you are, that's how you meet people. That's how you network. That's how people come to care about you, what you stand for. They look to you for leadership. They look to you for information. And that's how these connections happen. That's how these job opportunities show up. Pretty much every role I've ever gotten in my entire career has been through a personal connection.
Yep.
It's almost never.
We're both here.
Yeah.
It's why you're
exactly.
Yes.
Yes. It's how me and Melissa connected. It's like, I wish we had just, hey, you're going to use this software program that's going to measure the effectiveness of this work. Y'all, I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way. You're going to just have to look for anecdotal evidence. But I tell you this, from the time that you start doing these steps, you will start to see everything seems to be going a little better. My follower count is growing. My connection count is growing. People are reaching out more. I mean, everything gets accelerated. So if you want this timeline, go the old way. If you want this timeline, please do what we're telling you. And don't wait till you feel ready. This is not about your feelings. This is purely about a decision. Do you think I was born this way? I hated public speaking until about 2 years ago. I could barely get the words out. We can make a decision that this is worth doing and that you are going to start and you are going to show up just as you are. And just decide, I'm going to put myself out this way. I'm going to frame myself in a camera well. I'm going to put on a bright shirt. I'm going to do something to show up so when I am interviewing, they see and feel something different. And it de-risks the whole situation. I mean, when we are confident, we are telling them we have something to give. We have something of value. Notice me, believe me. They don't want to have to build someone up. They want someone who's already built up. That's how they de-risk their situation.
So such a good point. I love this. Every job description is essentially a set of problems that a hiring manager is trying to solve. They are looking for problem solvers. Our brand goes a long way in showing who we are and how we solve problems, how we think, how we engage, right? I also like to think, people hire you, but they really hire you and your network. And you're not generating a network from nothing. No man, no woman is an island. And so it's really important to be able to bring that to them, because when they see that you're connected with these people, what do they start to think? This person is going to be able to get things done. This person knows other people that are going to be able to connect them.
Yes.
And then back to Liam, if someone looks at your personal brands and decides they don't want to reach out about an opportunity, they've done you a favor and saved you a bunch of time. So it's a great filter. Absolutely. Yes. All right. So how do you, this is another kind of important post-pandemic question, take your brand and make it consistent online and offline? Julie, hit us up for that.
Absolutely. So the same type of personality that I am naturally. We never want to manufacture some fake persona, some fake personal brand that isn't you. We want you to be comfortable in it, because the moment you decide, well, this is already hard. You're asking me to put myself out there. It gets easier as your feet are moving, by the way, but you're going to quit if it gets hard. You're going to quit if it feels fake. Nobody has the emotional energy to do some thing that isn't real every day, because it has to be a little bit every day. So we just want to think, what is characteristic about you? Have that come through your writing. Have that come through when you speak and you show up here. This is me, like I have slightly imperfect hair right now. If you look closely, I've got some gray roots going, but that's okay. I've decided that part of my personal brand is that I'm going to own who I am. And I'm going to just love who I am and not worry about what others think. That's going to come through whether I meet you at Starbucks, whether I'm going to write something on LinkedIn, whether I'm going to sit down with you at a meeting. I've made that decision. So know who you are, know what's important to you, and own it. That's the piece that is missing most of all. You do all this personal brand work and it still feels like nothing is clicking. It's that you haven't decided, I'm going to own it. Whatever it is, own it. Be confident about it. Up the confidence level. It's kind of like here on video. I'm not as excited in person usually. I like amp it up on video because the camera and this microphone even, it sucks away the energy. So you got to hype it up a little. So own it, whatever it is.
Yeah, I know that if I bumped into either one of you on the street, that you would be you, right? You would be you. And I think that that's really important, that this isn't like your representative is on LinkedIn and you're going to show up as somebody else, right? Because that will completely erode the credibility and the relevancy of your personal brand, and then you'll be screwed. So you are actually setting an expectation in either direction, right? And so your tonality, your vibe, your way that you speak and all that, like, let it rip. I mean, seriously, like, I know, but I'm just going to say this. People that knew me from the corporate world and know me now are like, oh, thank God. My God, you were like such a stiff. That was so not you. And I know that I was pretending. I was pretending because I was wearing the suit, right? And I did all that, and then it
wow.
didn't anymore. So,
Lauren, that's so good. I think okay, can we just stay on that point for a second? When we're thinking about why are people not starting this work, we have a lot of habits to unlearn. We have been told to sit down, to shut up, to be quiet, that we have nothing of value to give. We've been passed over for promotion. We have been literally sometimes in a conference room told to, you have nothing to say, be quiet, hold on. Talked over, cut off. So we then now have to go over here on LinkedIn in the middle of a transition and say, I'm so great. Look at me. I believe in myself. Yay. It's like, there's a huge dichotomy between those things. And we know it. This work is not easy, but we do have to leave behind the things that we are not and the messages that other people have told us about ourselves. We have to decide afresh who we are and not wait again to feel like it. But my gosh, it is so hard. We've been told, curate the perfect, only come in with no emotion. We don't even know who we are anymore sometimes. So we get it. Lauren, I mean, if you had any insight, Melissa, I'd love to hear, how do we leave behind all of those things and start over?
No, I love all of those so much, right? We have to just kind of leave behind what doesn't serve us anymore, right? And none of that serves us anymore. You're right. We have been told, just keep quiet, just keep your head down, just, don't ask questions, don't put yourself out there. Yeah. And it doesn't serve us anymore. And I do feel that it's a different time post-pandemic, right? Everything is different now. Everything has changed. The way we have to show up has changed, and authenticity is really, really important.
Yes.
And you're right, it's hard work, right? Doing this is hard work. The first time that I put myself out there and hit post on LinkedIn, I thought I was going to throw up.
Yes.
Seriously, I thought I was going to throw up. And it wasn't anything controversial. It wasn't even really anything of my own thought.
Yeah.
It was exactly what you said, like reposting something that I found interesting. And maybe I put like a sentence or two about what I thought about it. And I was like, oh my God, what right do I have to have an opinion? Who's
Yeah.
going to agree? Are people going to be like, you're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. I disagree with you. No, nobody was like that, right? People want to learn from other people. And the more you do this, the more you practice, the easier it gets. And the more you see the ROI and the more you want to keep doing it because it is a positive and it, as long as it's authentic, right? That's the key. It has to really be who you are, what you really think, and what you really want to accomplish. And then it just gets easier as you keep doing it.
Absolutely.
I love also for both of you, there's so much that you do in support of other people. And so it's no wonder that part of your personal brand is about giving and generosity. Big shout out for to follow. I know that there are a couple other people that jumped on that bandwagon. Awesome for that. I love the quotes that you use, Julie. I mean, so much fun stuff. I love all the success stories that you bring to life. But really, I mean, if you are like dry on ideas to help your thought leadership, go pump up somebody else. There's nothing wrong with that. It's easier sometimes to talk about somebody else than it is about yourself. And so go find somebody that you can celebrate. And of course, why? Because that's only going to put you in a position of saying, hey, this person's all in. They know how to treat other people. They really, are able to see the value in somebody else. And so, you guys are great models and also, demonstrations of doing this. And I think that it's so important. It is really part of the pulse of LinkedIn. It is a social connecting platform. So if you're missing out on the social part or missing out on the connection part, then ask yourself, why are you really there?
So, oh my gosh.
Absolutely. And I think, that's also part of something you want in your job search, right? If you're hiring someone, don't you want to hire somebody who's positive, who wants to help other people at work? How many times have we worked for somebody who is a backstabber, who takes credit for your own work, nobody wants to work with or for somebody like that. So all the more reason to show that part of who you are. Yeah. That's what people want to work with.
Yes. So we're getting a lot of comments about, ooh, this one from Leslie. We love Leslie. It looks like, here we are, we're back. I was terrified to post on other people's posts. One of my first comments was on Melissa Cohen's post, and she liked my comment. That comment eventually turned into a real life relationship. Just do it and go for it. So help us understand what commenting can do, because I think we all thought, at least I did, my personal brand, it lives on my profile. End of story, hard to stop. Yeah. But really, I think that there's a lot to be said here about how your personal brand can extend and should extend through the comments. Can you speak to that, Melissa?
Yeah, sure. I comment a lot. I'm a big commenter. I probably comment more than I post. I think there's real magic there, right? And I also think it's a super good way for somebody who maybe is still a little hesitant about posting, doesn't feel that comfortable doing that yet. Comments are a really easy way to sort of still get visibility, still put yourself out there, still let people see, oh, look, that person is here. Oh, they read what I had to say. And there's real relationships that form in those comments, just like Leslie said, right? Leslie and I are friends in real life. And it did start because we commented on each other's content and had a conversation. And it's a great conversation starter, right? So my big tip for comments, aside from just actually commenting, is say something meaningful when you comment that really shows a little bit of who you are, but that also shows you read that person's post. It meant
Oh,
something
yeah.
to you. Pull something out of it that really resonated and highlight it and say why. Say what it did for you, what you learned from it, what it made you think, how it made you feel, or maybe an experience you had that was very similar. And you'd be really surprised. Like, the comments can absolutely be as valuable as the content itself.
100%.
I really love this also because I think that there's a lot of crappy comments out there, just saying. And what makes them crappy is that they're not elevating your thought leadership. Great post. Don't waste that. Come on. You're like a leader in your field.
Yes.
That's like crazy. So I'm curious, Julie, what other recommendations might you offer to really make sure, because remember this, your comments have a much greater reach potential than your profile itself. So not that many into your profile, but commenting, they can spread like wildfire.
It's like you're jumping on the super highway of LinkedIn when you go to other people's stuff and you comment on their posts. It's like all of a sudden their network sees you, sees your billboard, which is like, your face, your headshot, your headline, and your name. So put some boots on that profile and go and get it out. So if you, here's what I do and what I recommend if you're in this spot of job seeking. So if you could aim for 10 comments a day, make a list of the companies you would want to work at. Where do you want to hang out with? And so you go to the people that work there. You don't have to go to their CEO and follow him and connect with him, right? But like mid-level, senior team and on down, and make friends with them. And then when they are posting stuff, even when they are going to other people's posts, it's like in their activity section, you'll be able to see it on their profile. And you can go and see, where are they liking? You can look for this little tab that says reactions, and you'll be able to see what they are doing. You want to go and show up on those people's content too, because then you are in the same room that they are. And so all of a sudden it's like a virtual Starbucks. You're going into the coffee shop, they're there, the person that you want to work with, the people that they work with are there, and then you are too. It's like you're already a fit. So please dive in. It's so
I'm going to use this like really old and ancient cliche, right? Birds of a feather flock together.
So true.
And what that means is that you are like this person. So the chances of you, being a consideration for somebody that you're associated with on that thread, you're another bird, right? Gives you added credibility and increases that level of trust. Yes. I love this comment. Thank you, Liam. You're just like on a roll today. Spicy. I turn at least a few comments per week into standalone posts.
Yeah. So
basically, the posts then become inspiration, springboards for other opportunities. So if you're like scratching your head going, what would I say? What would I say? Check out the comments and pull that from there. So they're
instant content creation.
Yes.
It is a huge plethora of inspiration. So many wonderful things that are here. So I want to ask you, where should people come and find you, engage with you, not just on LinkedIn, but offline too, because I will be coming to New York sometime soon. And this time, Melissa, definitely
got to.
Let me know. Hit me up.
I will, for sure.
Absolutely.
So right after this call, I'm diving back over into DIY Influence, where we are going to have an office hours and talk about all things LinkedIn posts and content. And if you want to join, you can join us. You can even use the code Lauren50OFF and join us for half off today, because we would love for you to not have any of this be mysterious or confusing. So I'm at DIY Influence, and I would love to follow your journey too. So the more that we can follow and see your stuff, the more we can help promote you. So we'd love to follow you.
DIYinfluence.com?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay, I'm putting it in the chat. Awesome.
Perfect.
And Melissa, where should people come and find you?
You find me on LinkedIn. That's my happy place. You can just find me there. Please, I love to seriously, it is my happy place. Love to connect with people there. Love to establish relationships there. And then I am in New York City, so I am always happy to meet up in real life. I'm happy to meet up virtually. I have lots of virtual coffees and virtual cocktails. So that is the best place to find me.
Awesome. Hey, I want to just put this out there. You know, we're doing something that a lot of people pay a lot of money for, and that's okay, because I really want to impress upon you that we here, Portfolio Rocket, just really want to support you in your job search. And so we are doing a free power hour this Friday, also a second session next Tuesday. Why are we doing a free power hour? Because guess what? This is like your killer busy season. It's coming up the end of August. We know back to school and back to hiring. You know, this is really peak time to be networking, because people are a little bit more like having fun and having nice coffees and taking a walk, net walking. But it's going to flip, and it's going to flip in September. People are going to be more focused on getting their budgets secured and making those hires. So please, please, please don't go out there and just burn your network. That sucks. And don't just focus on your resume, because as we've just been discussing for the past half an hour, that's just 6 seconds worth of your entire brand and your entire candidacy. So please, please join us. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, especially Julie and Melissa. I know you have a hard stop, so we're going to end this broadcast, and I'm going to spend 1 minute thanking you guys off camera. Thanks again, guys. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Blast, Lauren.